everybody's going to want to know, how do you work out? A lot of women are models. And sometimes when you talk to them, either they're just like skinny or some of them are kind of too muscular. They don't fit the perfect form of the model. And I think that's something that you have mastered. Hi, my name's John Jaquish. I am a doctor of biomedical engineering. I speak on all things physiology, specifically physical medicine interventions for disease treatment. Also, I developed a product that is looking at getting those who cannot grow muscle with regular weights to be able to grow muscle with regular weights. And we are talking to my wife, Caroline Jaquish, today. And we're talking about her workout routine. Caroline is a professional model, and she just got the cover of FHM magazine, and very proud of her for that. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does and how she applies exercise science knowledge, a lot of it based on my book, Weightlifting is a Waste of Time, and talk about exercise and nutrition and how she stays in this incredible shape with poise and grace so she can present the different, what is it? I mean, tomorrow you're doing a fashion show in LA. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you doing? I want people to know what your lifestyle is like.
Okay, well, actually, I do a lot of pageants and bikini competitions. So I've been doing that for around 4 years now. And that really holds me accountable to stay in this shape and have this physique.
Nice. Okay, so everybody's going to want to know, how do you work out? A lot of women are models. And sometimes when you talk to them, either they're just like skinny or some of them are kind of too muscular. They don't fit the perfect form of the model. And I think that's something that you have mastered. And let me tell you, I didn't help when it came to how to develop the perfect model physique, because I don't know. I mean, there's no scientific studies on that. So how do you use X3?
Well, I started using X3 about 4 years ago when we first met. And I had never really lifted traditional weights before then. I was really skinny when I started, and I basically built the muscle mass I have now with X3 exclusively. So I've had no injuries while doing it. I followed the 12-week program at first, and now that I've acquired the muscle mass that I desire and my job desires me to have, I kind of work out maybe 3 times a week with X3. But at first it was 5 days a week and following the 12-week training program. So hitting every single body part. And now I focus primarily on my legs and my lower half and some indirect abdominal work as well with deadlift and overhead press.
Right. Now, you make sure you work the diminishing range, right?
Yes.
So diminishing range is when you're doing repetitions and then you can't complete repetitions because the weight's so high at the top that you shorten the repetitions as you go. So each rep gets a little bit shorter. And so you're actually fatiguing the entire muscle with all of its capability. And this is something you cannot do with a weight. Very important. And this is why variable resistance is so much more powerful. Now let's shift a little bit to nutrition, because that's the other question that a lot of women are going to have. They're looking at me and they're looking at, okay, I don't want to look like that guy, but they do want to look like you. So you're 5'8", 120 pounds, right? Yep. And so you get 120 grams of protein a day?
At the very least. Sometimes I go up to 200 grams. It really just depends on what the rest of my diet looks like for that day. And also if I'm off season or on season for preparation for a pageant.
You are most days at a calorie deficit?
Pretty much every day. It's really hard for me to meet maintenance calories or especially go over that, just because I'm like a 2 meal a day type of girl. I don't really eat breakfast most days because I like a fasted workout, and I always do my workout in the morning. So usually I have a big lunch and a big dinner, but my heaviest meal is probably lunch.
And it's hard to go over with calories when you're primarily carnivore, which you are. Now, I don't like labels. I've mentioned that in a few videos because we laugh about this. I know 20 guys who do carnivore and they've all got a different set of rules for the way they apply that. And with women, you probably know 20 women that too carnivore and it's all. So low carbohydrate generally. I think women do better with slightly higher carbohydrates. What are your grams of carbohydrate? What's your max carbs?
Max would be around 50 to 70 grams.
Okay. Minimum on some days?
I've done a whole prep being strictly carnivore, and I mean like strictly zero
Just
carbohydrate.
2 grams of carbohydrate?
And any carbs that I did get was from either eggs or dairy products. But other than that, it was just meat and water and my dairy. But I did that. I got down to 10% body fat. And as a female, it's not really the healthiest to stay there for very long, which is why I decided to increase my carbohydrates for these next couple of years.
It's important to point that out because we'll show your before and after. You got to the point where you were almost like fitness competitor shredded. And that's not great for modeling. That's a little too far. So you actually had to up your carbs to put on a little more body fat.
And just to feel normal.
Yeah.
And with a lot of women who do get that lean, you start losing your menstrual cycle and other things that you need as women. So I do agree with what you said earlier about women needing a little bit higher carbohydrates than men.
Yeah, for sure. They just feel more comfortable. I think guys can tolerate a lower amount of carbohydrates. Based on the meta-analysis that Menno Henselmans did, 20 grams is basically the highest I go. We got your workout. Your workout is basically the standard X3 program. And then your carbohydrates basically capped at 50. And then your 2 meals a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And get around 10,000 steps a day. I don't think you really need to go over that. Just make sure your body's moving consistently. Just because for me, it's little to do with the walking, but it's more having to do with just like an object in motion stays in motion. And if I am someone who's laying on the couch all day, I'm typically not going to follow through with the rest of my workouts throughout the week. So I do prioritize 10,000 steps a day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
If this video helped you, I want you to subscribe and follow. I'm going to put out videos on a regular basis. I think they're going to help a whole lot of people, especially if you're one of those people that doesn't just instantly grow from lifting regular weights. We've got the answer for you.